Wait, did Camron just go too far? What was leaked? Could have ruined his decades-long relationship with Jim Jones. And this time, it's not a publicity stunt. A video of Chrissy leaks private and intimate moments has gone viral, but insiders are blaming Camron himself. Was a petty move gone wrong, or was it a calculated betrayal meant to humiliate Jim in the dirtiest way possible? Jim isn't remaining silent, he's exploding across all platforms, releasing decades of pent-up resentment. And it's not just about we're talking about backroom deals, stolen opportunities, and a brotherhood that may have been a lie all along. Have you ever watched two kings turn into enemies in real time? Isn't a breakup? It's a demolition of the Dipset. And believe me when I say that what you're about to hear will forever alter your perception of Camron, because the truth isn't just shocking, it's ugly, and once you hear it, you won't be able to turn away. Is the beginning of the end. You would think that after all these years of street brotherhood, Dipset loyalty, and a shared ascent to hip-hop royalty, there would be a private video featuring none other than Chrissy, the longtime partner and highly respected matriarch figure in Jim Jones's life, appeared out of nowhere on a shady burner Twitter account with 0 followers, no tags, and no captions. The raw, unfiltered video dropped like a digital bomb on the timeline. At first, people assumed it was a betrayal, but apparently loyalty dies in silence, because what just happened is not just betrayal. It's nuclear. Let's go back. They assumed it was old footage, but within hours, Chrissy's face was trending, and the internet did what it does best: detective mode. Edits began to appear. TikTok reactions went viral. And before anyone could verify or refute the authenticity of the clip, Twitter was saying Cam did it. Now, why would Camron leak a video like that? What would he possibly gain from exposing something so private? Was it revenge or spite? Or was there something darker and more sinister simmering beneath the surface of their so-called brotherhood? Let's take a moment to discuss history, because this wasn't the first time. But as their empire grew, more cracks began to appear. There were moments of subtle jabs in interviews, cryptic Instagram stories, passive-aggressive verses, and then there were the explosive moments, like that infamous 2017 Hot 97 interview where Cam revealed everything from internal beef to the core Dipset audience knew that was a wound that would never heal. But Cam played it cool. Fast forward to 2025, and we're back in that trauma, but this time it's not music, it's family, it's Chrissy. What is the history between Chrissy and Camron? You may recall the early 2000s, when Chrissy was a mainstay on the scene. Not only as Jim's partner, but also as a shrewd businesswoman making genuine moves. There were constant rumors that Cam disapproved of the fact that he believed Chrissy was influencing Jim's business decisions. Sources close to the matter who spoke to us anonymously for their own protection claim that the video was recorded more than 10 years ago. It was a private moment that was never meant to see the light of day, but somehow it did. At the time, it seemed like harmless barbershop talk, but in hindsight, that might have been the seed of the quiet, simmering resentment that grew over decades. Now, with one leak, Camron might have just let all that old animosity erupt in the most unsettling way possible. A few days prior to the leak, Cam and Jim were seen together at a ROC Nation brunch, laughing like old friends, posing for pictures, and even hinting at a potential Dipset reunion tour. This raises questions about whether the leak was premeditated, or if Cam was playing nice while planning to drop a bomb. One insider claims that the video was stored on a now-defunct Dipset hard drive, which only a select few people ever had access to, and one that Cam allegedly took when the crew split up during their mid-2010 fallout. The real clapback occurred on Instagram Live in a raw, unfiltered live stream that attracted over 1.2K viewers in minutes. Jim Jones posted a black screen to his Instagram story with just 3 words, "I see you." The comments went crazy, saying, "It's Cam, he did it. Dipset is dead forever. Jim is going solo. Watch Jim let loose." No script, No PR team, just pure rage and heartbreak. I don't care what you guys say. This man has been jealous of me since day one. Jim spat into the camera. You don't touch family. You don't play with my woman. That video isn't an accident that was sent to hurt me. It wasn't just a personal betrayal. Anymore, it was a public declaration of war. At this point, the internet was ablaze with think pieces, podcast segments, and Twitter spaces discussing whether Jim was being emotional or whether Cam had truly gone too far. Emojis were flying, viewers were crying, and even longtime Dipset fans were picking sides. However, Jim continued by bringing up old business. This is the same man who denied me tour money in 2011 and told labels that I was unreliable and held this crew down, and now you want to throw dirt on Chrissy. In the meantime, Chrissy Lampkin, who is known for staying 10 toes down in all storms, made a rare move of her own. She unfollowed Cam on all platforms, archived every photo that featured him, and posted a cryptic message on her story. Some wounds cut too deep. No names, no faces. But we all knew this wasn't just beef. This was betrayal at the soul level. And just when things couldn't get any more toxic, an anonymous source revealed something even more sinister. Alleged text. Messages between Cam and A, if those texts are genuine. A mysterious industry friend is talking about a plan to leak something spicy to harm Jim's reputation before a big business deal. The worst part is that Cam hasn't denied them, which raises the question of whether he actually did it or not. If he didn't, why isn't he defending himself while your name is being dragged through digital hell? Or perhaps Cam knew this day would come and was prepared to burn it all down. And just when we thought we had reached the height of chaos, something even more unexpected occurred. According to sources close to the matter, these text messages, allegedly between Cam and an unnamed industry insider, paint a far more sinister picture. In them, Cam talks about not just destroying Jim's brand with one video leak, but also planning an entire smear campaign to derail his reputation in the industry. Jim Jones believed he had revealed every secret Camron could be hiding. But new layers of betrayal began to unravel like a web of deceit. The message also explained how this industry friend allegedly told Cam to keep it low-key. But Jim's Instagram Live didn't just change the game. It changed the conversation entirely. It wasn't just about the video anymore. It was about the entire... This is the last chapter in this incredible story where the destruction is not only personal, but also public hand by public. We mean explosive because when two legends split up in the most disastrous way possible, the entire industry shudders. It's not just about Jim and Cam anymore. It's about the entire culture of loyalty, betrayal, and ambition that keeps the hip-hop world together. And it's unraveling in real time as the world watches this feud escalate into something even more sinister began to surface. The financial consequences of this betrayal were beginning to hit harder than any lyric or diss track could. Sources close to both Cam and Jim, who recall having their hands in a number of profitable business ventures, started to leak a disturbing narrative about both men losing a lot of money. You might think these are just rumors, but these are people who are deeply involved in their circles, including publicists, managers, former label executives, and others. It's terrible. For instance, Jim Jones had multiple endorsement deals that were his collaboration with a well-known luxury brand was reportedly put on hold indefinitely. The brand couldn't afford the scandal that was damaging his reputation and didn't want to be linked to the ongoing drama surrounding his personal life. As for Camron, it turns out that his attempt to rebuild his solo career hit a huge roadblock. Business partners were withdrawing one by one, uncertain if supporting the rapper was worth the possible PR catastrophe. What's even stranger were rumors of unpaid contracts, dubious financial transactions, and even a former label executive suing Cam. The lawsuits, the real business side of the fallout, came next. It seemed like a legal storm had just rolled in, bringing with it a flood of accusations, counterclaims, and settlements. According to reports, Jim Jones had filed an official lawsuit against Camron for defamation. The charges included slander, conspiracy, and emotional distress because of the leaked video. It was evident that the drama was no longer just about the music. It was about survival. Cam and Jim had to make some serious decisions quickly or risk losing everything. Insiders claim that Jim's legal team was ready to fight it all the way. Corden wasn't holding back. What was even more shocking was the rumor that Jim was demanding a public apology from Cam and millions of dollars in damages. The claim was so bold that it caught even the most experienced lawyers off guard. Camron, however, wasn't going to let go unanswered. Instead, he responded with a counterclaim that claimed Jim had been extorting him for years, accusing him of using their friendship to siphon off money and manipulate business transactions. The fans who have supported them from the beginning and know every word and wore every Dipset chain like it was their own are the ones who are feeling the brunt of this mess, and it's tearing them apart. At first, fans weren't sure who to believe. Some sided with Jim, saying Cam had crossed a line. Others maintained that Cam was justified in feeling betrayed. In the midst of all this chaos, legal experts predicted that this case could drag on for years. After years of watching Jim play second fiddle, the underdog narrative was in full force. But it was difficult to ignore the growing division between the two factions of Dipset supporters. However, the bombshells struck, and as fans dug deeper into the story, the more they discovered, the more their allegiance was shaken. After the video leak went viral, leaked footage surfaced that showed Jim's emotional breakdown, with one particularly chilling clip showing him questioning his entire career. "Is this how they really feel about me after everything we've been through?" he muttered as he stared at his phone screen. On the other side, Cam remained unconcerned, and he fell silent once more. His only public statement was a tweet that said, "Sometimes the truth hurts, but it has to be said." No clarification, no apology, just a cold, calculated statement that only fueled the flames further. He was aware of the impact it would have, but the longer he remained silent, the more people saw a different side of him, self-serving, calculating businessmen who would stop at nothing to maintain control. Some fans took to social media too, defend their favorite rapper while others abandoned ship. The entire Dipset fan base was split, and the industry took notice. The more they argued, the less power they held. The unity they once had was collapsing, and both men were to blame. The question was whether they could ever mend the damage or if their actions permanently damaged the legacy they had created together. Now, let's talk about Chrissy, who was at the center of this entire feud. As the drama developed, her name was also dragged through the mud. She had been publicly criticized, and it was obvious that she was caught in the middle of this mess.